That's more like it. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I came on here naked. Excuse me. Forgive me for my folly now that I'm fully clothed. Hi guys, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me for this dreadful Love is Blind reunion. I actually was not going to talk about this because it just wasn't interesting, but I'm loyal, so I'm gonna wrap it up so we can get into something else because we got some more shows coming up. I'm gonna do two polls when I'm done. I'm gonna do one poll asking, or just a post asking what you guys want to talk about in next week's Just Chatting, but also I am going to start reviewing Welcome to Derry. It is the prequel to Stephen King's It. I'm going to start reviewing that. And I want to know, do you want a live review or do you guys want a filmed review? I may just mix it up to see which ones you're receptive to better, but look out for that. But yeah, I wasn't going to do this, but I was just like, let me just wrap this up because I'm introducing so much new stuff to you guys later this week. And next week, I'm doing a collab with Arnold later this week that if we continue to get a lot of stuff, it may be something that is reoccurring. So we got a lot happening. And it's just time to wrap up the old stuff. It's just time to wrap it up, get it out the way, and get into our new things. Oh, our Blue Wave celebration will be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please join me. We're going to be celebrating, pouring out libations to the ancestors, cheering, crying, reminiscing, and, planning about how we move forward because we did that. We did that. Shout out to the Democrats. Shout out to Black women because we always hold it down like we always do. Shout out to you for casting your vote or sending your prayers if you are not in the US of A. Anyway, let's get into it. What was this? What was this? This was not a reunion. I don't know what this was. It was all over the place. It was so confusing. I could not keep up to what was happening. None of the questions I wanted answered was answered. It was just a whole mess. Why did this reunion open up with a concert? Why was that necessary? Do we know that guy? Or is he like a Colorado celebrity? Or does he sing the hook for the show? Something was so weird and off by that. And I'm just like, we're just opening up with this concert and nobody's telling us why. Who is he? Was he on Love is Blind before? Is he Netflix's owner's son? Why are we having this concert? No answers, just confusing. We open up with a concert. Then we open up with this concert, but then the rest of the cast starts coming down. And I'm like, oh, so the reunion is going to be outside in this park? It looked like the reunion was in Central Park. And what was the weather? Because the cast was half naked, but then the audience, they're in pea coats with scarves and gloves and blankets. So what is happening here? This whole thing was so confusing. None of it made sense. Like, what was the semblance of the park? Why did they have it outside? I'm so glad like the audio worked with them, but I was like, that's a huge risk to film a production outdoors. Made no sense. If you guys know, please let me know in the comment section. I will say this though, everybody on the cast looked great. Everybody on the cast, money well spent, especially Jordan. I was like, well, who the hell is this? I know that's right. Everybody must have been going through it when they signed up for this show. But now, after the show, they have found peace and they have found themselves. Everybody looked amazing. Money well spent. Shout out to Netflix, child. Listen, they do pay nicely and they pay quickly. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So we start off with Sparkles. Did I delete the pictures from this cast? I absolutely did delete pictures from the Love is Blind cast. Oh well. We're just gonna wing it. So we start off with Megan Sparkles. She reveals that not only did she have a baby 2 months ago, she had a baby with a guy named Paul who was in the audience. Paul looked rich. Not surprised. Paul looked like he come for money. Paul looked like he even talks rich. Paul looks like his voice is like, hey, hey, hey. How are you? I'm Paul. Yo. I golf. Like he looks like he would sound rich because he looks rich. So I wasn't shocked, right? Because watching the show, we realized that Sparkle Megan was not going to live her life with a working class man. That just wasn't her reality, and she was not going to bend to it. So she tried. I'll give it to her. She tried, but she found herself a rich guy, and she let him shoot up the club. And she is a proud mom of a son named Brooks. Rich. She got the life that she wanted. I will say we did find out that Megan was on a rampage after the show. She went out with every damn body. The timeline is still crazy to me because she was dating damn near everybody. She probably dated production when the show ended. And then somehow she got pregnant by this guy. She was just like, listen, the relationship is rocky. We have our ups and downs. You know, this was not a planned pregnancy, but we decided to, make it work because she was on a rampage after that show. Everybody had a little piece of Megan. Everybody had a piece of Megan, and everybody felt the need to call up Jordan and let them know that they were sampling a piece of his ex. Child, Sparkle Megan said, listen, ain't no ring on my finger. Let me go and have a good time. Mother was on a mission. Okay, then we get to Casey and Patrick. So we find out the cast does not like Casey. Not even the women. Nobody was on her side. Everybody was Team Patrick. Jordan, as soon as he heard Casey's voice, he got annoyed. He was making so many faces. Nick had to look at Nick, and Vanessa was just like, are you okay? He was like, no, I just got ADHD. But it was very obvious that he does not like Casey along with the rest of the cast. How was she able to keep the ring? I didn't understand that because even Vanessa was just like, shouldn't Netflix get the ring back since they were the one who provided the ring? But we went into this whole scenario about how Casey, this whole story about how Casey didn't want to keep the ring. Casey kept the ring because Patrick told her to keep the ring. Patrick was just like, no, I didn't tell you to keep the ring. I told you to keep the ring because I thought that we were still going to remain engaged. When I found out that you didn't want to be engaged to me anymore, then I was just like, I should have the ring back, but you didn't want to give the ring back. So we had this whole back and forth about the ring. And then finally, Casey was just like, I'll give the ring back to you, Patrick, after she apologizes to him. And after they go back and forth about who was meaner to the other, Patrick was just like, I forgive you. I'm also giving you this time so that you can show that you're an actual good person, because I believe that you are. But not only do you look terrible on TV, you're not doing yourselves any favors online. And then Casey is just like, Patrick, do you really want to protect me and let everybody know that I'm a good person? Yeah, she made a TikTok video about me. And that wasn't nice, Patrick. It wasn't nice. Patrick just like, well, it was, I was a hurt dude. So I made a video, but I took it down because I'm sorry. But again, Casey, I'm giving you this platform so that you can show everybody that you're a good person, because I still have a heart for you. And I still think that you're a good person. And Casey's like, well, thanks, Patrick, but I'm not sure if I believe that, just because of the things that you liked and the things that you sent to me. And everybody's like, oh, Casey, shut up. Like the whole cast is sick of Casey, sick of her playing a victim when she is clearly not the victim. But she does give the ring back to Patrick. And I'm like, why doesn't the ring go back to production? That confused me so much. Neither one of them provided the ring. Why does either one of them get to keep it? It's weird. It is very weird. Somebody from Netflix explain that to me. So if this reunion couldn't get any weirder, out of nowhere, Nick and Vanessa welcome Chris Paul. Huh? They're like, ladies and gentlemen, here comes Chris Paul. Chris Paul comes out with a basketball and he makes Casey and Patrick play for the ring. So they both have to shoot hoops to see who keeps the ring. Why is Chris Paul there? What does this mean? Is he going to be on the next season of Love is Blind? Like, why was he there? There was no explanation. And after, Casey and Patrick have this mini basketball game, it's decided because Casey, which was the weirdest thing out of the whole thing, Casey beats Patrick at basketball. So it is decided by Chris Paul that she gets the ring back. And then after Chris says, well, Casey won, she gets the ring, Chris Paul leaves. And there's no explanation of why this just, is he from Colorado? What is going on? I was so confused by that. That was such a weird thing to happen, and it just was not properly acknowledged. I'm like, are we going to talk about that? Why was he here? What was he doing? Is he promoting something? Is the NBA going to be on the next season of Love is Blind? Does he play? Does he play for the? Wait, is there a basketball team in Colorado? Is it Colorado Clippers? Because I heard Clippers. Chris Paul, Colorado. Denver Nuggets. Okay. So he has been speculated as a potential addition and a local Colorado resident. Okay, so he's from Colorado. He studied at Western Colorado University, and he probably is going to play for the Denver Nuggets. Okay. I still don't know why he was there. Just because he's from... So are we just going to have random celebrities from cities now? Are you going to have Will Smith on Love is Blind Philly? Patti LaBelle, is she going to show up with patty pies for the Philly reunion? Like, what is happening here? It just made no sense. The funniest thing out of all of this was that Vanessa was just like, well, Patrick, Casey won the basketball game, so you can give it a ring. He was like, I'll give it to her in Denver. And everybody started laughing because he had no intention of giving it to her. And Vanessa was just like, no, she won. She won the basketball game. Give her the ring. So literally, Patrick was forced to give Casey back the ring. Why isn't it going to production? I'm so confused. Like, is she going to be able to keep that ring now and pawn it and get money from it? If that's the case, it should go to Patrick because he's the only one that really lost something out of it. Why is she able to get the ring? Ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. This reunion makes no sense. Moving on, Madison, we get into how Casey, right after she broke things off with Patrick, started dating Joe right after the show. Then Madison chimes in and she blames Casey and Joe for ruining her engagement. She was just like, you two ruined my engagement because that night Joe told me that Casey put her hands on his chest and gave her googly eyes. And after she gave him googly eyes, he ended our engagement. And Joe was like, no. Joe was like, I had been having these feelings for a very long time, and Casey had nothing to do with it. Then Nick jumps in and he's just like, well, yeah, he was a little stressed out at when he was trying on his tuxedo. And that was before he even hung out with Casey. So Joe was just like, yeah, no, I was feeling this way before anything with Casey ever transpired. So that was not the case. He was like, me and Casey messed around, but I was already out of the relationship. It had nothing to do with her. Poor Madison. Now Joe. So Joe dated Casey right after the show ended, but he also had a little something with Madison. They went out, they made out. Joe started crying. Madison thought that there was hope in a relationship, and then Joe just ghosted her. So she was left confused. Then the next time she sees Joe, he's with Casey, and she is very confused by that. And then they see each other again at somebody's party, and Joe is there with another girl, and Casey walks up to Madison and lets her know we're Eskimo sisters. What is Eskimo sisters? Because everybody was like, first of all, the Eskimo was like, I think we went through this. Yes. Oh my God, forgive me. Inuit. Inuit sisters. But isn't that offensive? Oh, so the E word sisters is a slang term for two women who have had sexual relations with the same man. Why does the Inuit community, why are they involved in that? What, why they bring the indigenous people in that? Is that an Inuit thing? I don't think so. Yeah, I would be offended by that too. Okay, so guys, don't say the E word sisters. Don't even say Inuit sisters. Say lumberjack sisters. Yeah, so we found an alternative. They gave us an alternative. An alternative is lumberjack sisters. Anyway, so that's just supposed to mean that, oh, we slept with the same guy. Madison was just like, oh, I didn't really want to hear that not only was you with my man, my ex fiance, but that you slept with him. But then Casey was just like, oh no, you were cool. Madison was obviously faking cool because she had a problem with it. And Madison was just like, I couldn't even really be transparent with you because you were breaking down and you were so heartbroken over Joe. You were crying and saying you were messed up for how he treated you. So there was no real room for me to even share my feelings because you had been so engulfed in him. I After you previously told me it wasn't that big of a deal, but you're at this party falling out because he's with another woman. Then Joe chimes in and he's just like, before y'all mess up my current relationship, let me just clear this up right now. I wasn't with none of y'all when I was with her. And Joe was just like, I have to say this because we've had a tumultuous relationship. He was like, we were going back and forth. We weren't really getting along in the beginning. And so we were off when I was with Casey. But now we're on. It was such a ridiculous explanation. Jordan, who is Joe's buddy, had to crack up. Like Jordan just had to laugh because none of what Joe said made any sense. Like he was so all over the place with his explanations of things. And I thought that he was just like that throughout the season because he was a drunk, or well, not drunk, but because he was drunk. But I think Joe is just like that. Just like not quite there. Like something is a little, some he gives White Edmund. He gives White Edmund because I'm just like, you just can't, he can't explain things. It's always, well, I didn't man, yeah, because it was I was off and Casey, what me and her? No, I real something is going on there. It's definitely a white Edmonism. Something is happening there. Then we get after Joe talks about how he's in a terrible relationship currently. Then we get Madison addressing Joe, and she was just like, listen, the way you talked about my body sent a lot of online hate towards me, and I didn't appreciate that. um And she just really laid it on the table for him. It was just like that was uncomfortable to watch, and then to experience that from the fan base now making fun of my body because you opened the door for them to do that. And Joe was just like, well, that wasn't really true. There was sexual attraction there, but me and you had talked about our types, and I was normally with petite women, and you had told me the kind of women that you were with, and obviously I was attracted to you because, you know, the majority of our relationship, all we did was F and fight. The audience had to laugh. The audience had to laugh. You are sitting there saying that you absolutely love Madison's body because you consistently screwed her throughout the relationship. Throw this season away in the dumpster. In the dumpster. It is a nightmare. It is a nightmare. You know who shocked me? Nick. His apology to Kate, very, like, he watched that season and was just like, I was a terrible person. He came back to this reunion very apologetic. The apology he gave to Kate was, I thought it was a really great apology, stellar, if you will, and ended it with, I didn't deserve you. And Kate was like, thanks, but I don't know if that's performative. Kate did not care. Kate was like, that apology was sweet. It was sincere. It shows that you have matured, but I don't know if that is just performative, because you were performative to me the entire show, telling me the same thing that you're telling another woman. I feel like I'm falling for you, but you're actually putting on a performance for both of us. So to watch that back, I felt absolutely humiliated. So I don't even know if I can trust this apology, because it could just be another performance. Kate came to this reunion ready, and her target was Nick. She said, find something safe to do. You're not going to play with me. You play with me in them pods and on that show, you're not going to play with me at this reunion. And Nick had nothing to say. He just kept on saying, you're right. And he even spoke about how his experience in the pods, it was faulty because of him. He was just like, I really didn't make friends. You know, I really stayed to myself. I kept the experience to myself, and I isolated everyone. So when Joe was saying those things about me, I'm not mad about that. Joe texted me right away, said that he was sorry. Joe was just like, I was drunk, and, you know, homeboy Brendan was my friend, and I was mad about that. And Nick was like, it's okay. I can understand where he was coming from, because I wasn't really welcoming. Like, I did not make myself somebody to be liked, so I can understand how everybody felt that way. I was absolutely shocked that out of everybody, Nick was the one who, like, really had an epiphany that he was just not a good person on the show and came back totally different. And I hate to say it, I wish we would have seen this guy, this Nick that we seen at the reunion. I wish we would have seen him on the show. That version of Nick probably would have been more enjoyable. Kate may disagree. Kate may disagree. Casey, not Casey, what's the other one? Anna? I think it's Anna, the drunk girl. Was she drunk again? Her eyes were bloodshot. She was having a hard time forming sentences. The hair was just, oh my gosh. It was just like, the hair was giving Dolly Parton's first wigs. When she first got out the game and she was on Section 8, and she was doing them shows, but, you know, she ain't really have it. So you could tell, you know, that mama was struggling. That's what that wig looked like. One of Dolly's first wigs. I'm just like, what is going on with Annie? Annie. Yeah, it's Annie. Speaking of Anns, where was Anna, the Asian chick? That was with Patrick. Why wasn't she there? I would have loved to have heard her story. And I would have loved to have seen if her and Patrick were able to make it work outside the villa. She was really heartbroken about Patrick, about being his second choice, about him choosing somebody else. But I'm like, Anna, if you leave it to Patrick, he said that you and him were only for 5 days. He had more time with Casey. 10 days is not enough, in my opinion, which is why this show is no longer working. However, it has worked for some people, but finding out that this whole process is 10 days is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think that Love is Blind is going to continue to look like this. And I think that after Philly, they should cancel it. because we can't cancel it before Philly. Oh, baby, I got to see that one. I got to see that one. Ali. Ali was lying the entire reunion. She did not want to tell the truth about why she didn't say yes to Anton at the altar. Ali didn't say yes to Anton at the altar because he was too poor for her. Point blank, simple. That's what it is. She wants a rich guy. She wants a guy that can provide a lifestyle for her. And she was going to settle for Anton, but Anton kept on putting his foot down on her financially. And she was just like, absolutely not. Because at the reunion, she's just like, well, I did want to be a stay-at-home mom, and have somebody take care of me and the kids. But I didn't want that in the beginning. I was still going to finish out my career. But like after that, I wanted him to be able to take care of me. And she was just like, my friend who said those things about him and not having enough money, she's Ukrainian. So that's her culture, and her culture is a lot like Anton. So she understood that the man is supposed to take care of everything. Ali, your friend, was a classist. She was being classist. And she was looking down on Anton, who has a nice job and good benefits. But it wasn't what you two deemed as blue collar jobs. So because it's still a service job, you both looked down on him, and that is why you did not say yes to Anton at the altar. And the reason why I say that is because she gave so many reasons for why she didn't say yes to him at the altar, but they constantly change. The first one was out of nowhere. All of a sudden, her and Anton were so religious. She was just like, I had a problem with him going to the strip. She said, I don't have a problem with a man going to a strip club. A man could go to a strip club, but a man, for me, I don't want him doing that. And Anton, that shocked me because we talked about raising our kid, being religious, and raising our kids deeply religious. Well, sis, we missed that part. We did not see that. When did you ever talk about Christ with Anton? You didn't talk about it in the pods, and you didn't talk about it when y'all were on vacation, the honeymoon before the marriage. Y'all didn't talk about it then. You didn't talk about it at the when you guys were living together. And even Nick was just like, well, if you were so mad at him about partying so much, why didn't you talk about it with him? Why did it never come up? And Ali's just like, I don't know. It just, I was really upset about it, but it just never came up. But if that is one of the reasons why you're saying you didn't want to marry that guy, why didn't you talk to him about it? Like, it doesn't make sense. Now it's, we just never got around to talking about it, but I was bothered by it so much that I said no to him at the altar, but you didn't talk about it with him. You had such an issue with the strip club, so much of an issue, it gave you an out and a reason to not say no, to not say yes to him at the altar, because you were expecting him to be deeply religious, because that is what you guys talked about. But it was never captured on camera the entire season, and that was a huge issue for you. But it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. The line just kept on moving because she didn't want to say, I want to be kept, and he was not aligning with the lifestyle that I wanted. There's nothing wrong with that. Sparkle Megan did it, and she was able to get what she wanted. There's nothing wrong with saying we just do not align financially. It's a real thing. But she was just beating around the bush without being honest. I will say this. That girl, Anton's best friend, who was so desperate to be Anton's bestie's girlfriend, the one who was doing just about any and everything to keep that man, got herself dumped. Because when Anton watched that show and he saw how that girl was talking about him, he was just like, she didn't know anything about me. I had met her once. So for her to even say something like that so damaging about me was a huge issue. And Vanessa was just like, is he talking about Nick's friend, Anton's friend? Is he still with her? Anton was just like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anton was just like, yeah, that was nipped in the bud immediately. Because how you gonna come for me and you don't even know me like that? that girl, why would she say that? I will say, I thought it was so weird. I'm like, if that's his best friend, why are you dragging the man that you supposedly love and you supposedly want to get married to? Why are you dragging his best friend to his fiance on camera? How did you think that was going to go? How did you think that was going to go? Girl, not smart. And she was in love with Anton's friend. Now look. Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Then we get to Calabria and Edmund. Calabria lets us know that Edmund was a different person when the cameras were not on. When the cameras left, when the cameras were there, Edmund was this nice guy who made her look like the mean person. But when the cameras left, he was constantly doing stunts and being mean to her and dismissive to her. And I absolutely believe Calabria. And here's why I believe her, because Edmund didn't remember anything. From the entire season, every moment that Calabria brought up, like in Calabria, she had every moment right before the camera showed up. And he didn't remember anything. Calabria was just like, that's why I was looking so annoyed with you when you hopped into the cabinets, because you had a whole episode before we were able to move into the home. We were moving into our apartment. You were on your knees having a whole temper tantrum to the point where I had to look down at you and tell you to get up. And Edmund's like, I never did that. I don't remember that. Nah, that didn't happen. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember. You don't remember nothing. But she has receipts for every moment, but you don't remember it? You don't remember being so mean to her, having her in tears before y'all got to the whole rodeo? That's why she was so easily frustrated with you and crying because y'all were fighting before y'all got there? You don't remember none of that. You don't remember telling her that you're not crying no more, that you're done with that, you're over it, and just dismissing everything that she was saying, every issue that she had with you and trying to work things out with you, you're dismissing it and shutting it down. I believe everything that Calabria said, because how do you not remember anything? And then when he was faking amnesia, I started to remember. And I remember when you guys were sitting on that ice cold mountain and you looked Calabria in her face and said, I'm not going to say sorry to you because I'm not sorry for what happened. Real clear. No accent or nothing. Real clear, direct in her face, got up, wiped the snow off your pants, and walked away from her. That was the real you. And that is the you that showed up every time them cameras left. You played in everybody's face. I don't remember. Just say something nice, please. Just say something nice. Why would she say something nice to you when you are constantly tormenting her and playing in her face in front of the cameras? And she was saying that she was crying to him and begging him to not to be honest and real on camera, because she's just like, because I'm not playing along with him, I end up looking like an angry Black woman. And I did not like that. And I told him about that and I expressed that. I feel so bad for Calabria because you can see that she had some support from the women, but she did not have any support from the host. Because as she's telling her experience, Nick is giving excuses about why Edmund acted the way he acted. And I'm like, how are you going to give excuses for his behavior if Edmund is saying it didn't happen? So why would there be an excuse? Because it never happened, according to Edmund. Right? Anyway, Edmund and Calabria are able to squash the beef. They end up hugging. All is well. But I'm glad that we were able to see who Edmund really is he manipulated the hell out of this show. He manipulated the hell out of the cast, and he manipulated the hell out of Calabria's mother, because she was still protecting him all way up, all way after after they ended their relationship. But Calabria was the only one who was just like, I'm done with this facade. I'm not going to play this game with him anymore. And when she stopped playing the game, she was perceived as an angry Black woman. We end the reunion with Blake bringing out Jordan a birthday cake because it's his birthday, and that's where the reunion ends. So we never talk about Annie being drunk. We never talk about Annie and Nick's homophobic comments on the show and transphobic comments on the show. We never talk about if Anton was actually a drunk. We never talk about Edmund or his caretakers or Calabria wanting him to assault a man so that she could think that he was manlier than how he presents himself. We never talked about Madison falling out over Joe being drunk and that big argument that pretty much changed the trajectory of their relationship. We never talked about Megan and her, let's be honest, obsession with Jordan's child and how that affected their relationship. But at least we got Chris Paul. At least we got Chris Paul. None of it made sense. That's all I had to say about this show. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into it. We have a super chat from So Steph. Thank you so much, So Steph. Love you too. I am going to try to get as many comments as I can, my loves. I feel like falling in love. Falling in love. Hey, Christina. I'm not getting any sleep tonight. Let's go. Thank you for being here. Hey, Al Boogie. Thank you for being here. Hey, Camille. Thank you for being here. Christina said they just need to throw the show away. They've lost the original plot. I think this is going to be the Love is Blind endings for the remainder. I don't think we're going to get marriages out of this show anymore. I don't think it's real. I don't think it's authentic. I don't think that casting is casting for I don't think that casting has the same magic as it did in the earlier seasons. I do not want to blame Kwame's wife, but I will say that since she joined casting has been off. Casting has been off. We got to get casting back to the old formula, or we're going to continue to have these terrible seasons. Hey, E for Empathy, thank you for being here. Absolutely could have been an email, Dahlia. Hey, Mama Star. Mama Star said, hello, Star family. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is enjoying your day. Love you, Mama Star. Guys, as soon as Mama Star finally watches the Golden Bachelor, we will be back. I'm waiting for her to catch up on the episodes. Hey, Jen. Jen said, agreed. They need to change something up because it's very clear that love is not blind for basically everyone, LOL. Also, hey, Nikki. Hey, Jen. Oh, you want a live review? Okay. I think I'm just going to do both and see what you guys like more. Hey, Toya Star, thank you for being here. Mary said, still celebrating my new mayor. Congrats. Congrats to New York. Concrete jungle where things are mad. There's nothing you can't do. Congrats. Is my mic on? Said at this point, they need to remove the blind part of Love is Blind. They absolutely do. Absolutely do. Dear Show Podcast said, Toya, we enjoyed immensely in the Halloween blog. Thank you so much for watching my videos on my home channel. Truly appreciate the views. SEO Shogun said, I think they were confused on what to do since there were no. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Jen said, I think that guy only sang that song for the show. LOL. It was a cute song though. Confusing as it's what they started with that. Well, they should have let us know. They should have said, up first to sing the theme song for the show is so and so. It was just some brother with locks singing. And I'm like, oh, okay. NC said, I knew this reunion was going to be trash. I don't know why we even wasted our time. I agree. I feel like if nobody gets married, there shouldn't be a reunion. There shouldn't be a reunion. Ephraim said, the only part of the reunion I enjoyed was Jordan giggling during any of the little drama, LOL. What was that? It was weird. It did not make any sense. Dahlia said, I'll tell you what this was, Nikki. Nonsense and tomfoolery. Chicanery and foolishness. Period. Dahlia also said, Jordan and Annie look great. She finally looks like a salon owner. The eyes were bloodshot. Even when she was trying to explain what was going on. It was what was she talking about? Now, everybody, no, the experiences. Everybody has an experience. So, what is going on? Meg Eclectic said, why was there a mini one-on-one basketball game between Casey and Patrick? I told them. It just didn't make sense. He does give Lex Luthor Coco. He does. Oh, he got money. That's a trust fund, baby. He gives trust fund. You know what? Was it ticking or was she just raw dogging? I think that Megan was raw dogging. I think she's the girl that's just like, we don't need condoms. I'm good. And no shade. There are women who are like that. There are, not every woman is a condom warrior. Not every woman is like that. So, not every woman is like that. So I could see that happening because she was on a tear after that show. Baby, she was in them streets and she got caught up. But at least she got caught up with something paid. At least she got caught up with something paid. Coco said no. She went on a date with Mike, but that was it. Casey is the one who was getting with her. No, it was Mike and it was another person. Didn't Mike called Jordan, but she went out with somebody else. It was another person from the show. Yeah, money. Dahlia said, Megan looked like she had egg on her face. She looked embarrassed to be a whole baby mama, but her baby is cute and her baby daddy got money. So yeah, she'll be cool. She wasn't getting with no working class guy. Everybody but Patrick, child. Everybody but Patrick. Hannah said they wasted money on that singer and the basketball game. Here's the thing. I won't say they wasted it. It just didn't make any sense. I wish they would have introed it better for it to click, but it didn't seem to work for me because I'm just like, why are we here? What's happening? Ephraim B said the KCT was the only interesting thing. It just kept popping up because she was dating everybody. Coco said, I think it's like Netflix would be the ones who got it back, but it's not a requirement to. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a requirement. And I'm just like, why was Nick and Vanessa forcing Patrick to give that back? He was the one that got screwed. He should keep it. Dahlia said, Patrick spent additional money on the ring. Oh, I didn't know that. And I cannot believe they made him keep it. They give that to her. I would have told them no. I would have been like, I do not care. I spent money on this ring. I'm keeping it. Hey, Tamara. Tamara said Patrick let her keep the ring because she was straddling him and leading him on in the lobby. Yep. Hannah said Patrick needs to grow a backbone and love himself. I will say, I think he stood up a lot for himself at this reunion. Dahlia said Patrick was so full of crap. He was using the public as an excuse rather than speak up for himself. I no longer feel bad for him. Ooh, child, the tides are turning. El Boogie said, oof, the desire to still make this woman out to be nice. I truly hope someday men of color will decolonize. Girl, it'll take forever. Golden said, why do the vocal fry always end up being the worst? Because they are trying to appeal to certain men who like childlike women. So that's what it is. It's a baby voice. It's a I'm a baby. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a child. Not my community, not my business. Social Stuff said they said the rings are only $200. LOL. So Netflix probably don't care. Oh, okay. Sammer said Chris Paul follows Love is Blind. Where did he come from? We don't know, but I guess he's from Denver, so they threw him out there. Dahlia said they needed to distract us from the crap show of no married couples. It's all smoke and mirrors. I agree. I think that's what happened. I think, like you guys said, because there were no married couples, there was not much to talk about. So a lot of this stuff was filler. SEO Shogun said Megan likes Casey for some reason. Maybe they're similar. Yeah, I was shocked to know that Casey was the only one that knew that she was pregnant. I'm like, you keep in touch with Casey, but not everybody else? Like, how did they not know that she was pregnant? I was just like, so after the show, only the men kept in touch, because the men seemed like they all started hanging out immediately. They are all in each other's lives, but the women, not so much. Coco said I was shouting when the damn basketball hoop rolled out. Like, what are we doing? Who cares? Well, no, he's from Denver, so that's why he was there. NC said Ali is an idiot, interjecting to say Patrick isn't entitled to the ring back because Netflix bought it. By that logic, you should give the ring back to Netflix. True. Coco said he plays for the Clippers. I remember that one time they had random football players zoom in. It was just weird. The Los Angeles Clippers. So why would he's from Denver? Was he tweeting about the show? It's weird. Dahlia said, if I was Patrick, I would have told Chris Paul, yes. I would have been like, I don't care what Chris Paul says. I'm keeping the ring. NC said, I'm confused as to how Netflix has Chris Paul money, but they didn't have money to run proper background checks on their contestants. Cough, cough. Tyler from last season. Here's the thing, guys. I think that a lot of people, a lot of these reality TV shows do not have ironclad background checks, because if you do, you're just not going to get a lot of people for the show. Especially now with a lot of people living their lives online. Everybody's going to have, not everybody, but the majority of the people that want to be on TV, reality TV shows, are going to have problematic backgrounds. And you kind of got to look away, or else you won't have a show. Hold on, wait a minute. I used to pray for times like this. If he comes out with Love is Blind Philly, if they cast locals, it is going to be so hilarious and so ghetto. I can't wait. I can't wait. Coco said could have saved 20 minutes and just let her keep it because she had it in the first place. It was such a waste of time. And why were they in a park? Why was this filmed in a park? They sure did. They sure did. And I hated that. I hated that. May Collector said for Philly, we'll hear all of Jill Scott albums for background. I don't think they got all that money. I don't think they got Jill Scott money. Hey, Will, thank you for being here. Hannah said they humiliated him instead of talking about the true issue. None of the true issues were brought up. Vanessa, of all people, should have led that conversation and been like, so what about Patrick made you not attracted to him? Because you knew that he was Asian. What were you looking for? Don't say nothing. But you fight to give this girl back the ring after she did your boy like that? No loyalty. No loyalty. He wasn't man enough for me. I know that's right, mama. Tamara said Madison is really reaching for answers on why Joe broke up. She is like a dog with a bone. Yeah, I will say I've been on her side, but when she said that, you guys ruined my engagement, I'm just like, Casey had nothing to do with that. Girl, that was Joe. He didn't want to be there from the moment he saw you. No shade. So Steph said, I saw a black casting style for Philly season on TikTok. She was asking where she should go to find people. She went to Center City in Manayunk. She should have went to King of Prussia. King of Prussia is worse. Absolutely not. I saw her. I saw her casting call, and I told her, I said, we need real Philly people. You are not going to find, yeah, man and young, you're gonna find some people, but you're gonna find some people with meth addictions. You have to know where to go. Like, you got to go to North Philly, you got to go to West Philly, you got to go to South Philly. I will stay out of the Northeast. I will stay out of the neighboring counties, and I will stay out of Manayuk, because those, the meth hit them places hard. Nobody from Kensington on this show. North, South, and West. That's where you need to be casting. Everywhere else, it's going to get a little grimy. It's going to get a little grimy. Center City people, a lot of them are transplants. If they're not transplants, their pedigree is not going to go on Love is Blind. So stay out of Center City, North, South, and West. That's where the Philadelphians are. That's how it's going to work. Get some Mount Airy people in there. We'll even let you, you know what? If you want to go out, not Cherry Hill. They might get some Cherry Hill people, although that's Jersey. They might get them. Chestnut Hill. Get some Chestnut Hill people. Those are still, we'll make them Philadelphians. Chestnut Hill, Roxborough. Yeah. I would say there. Everywhere else, we don't do it. Will said, "Hola, Nikki and Star family. I have made it live." Yes, you have. You were at the last one. This is what is on Netflix site regarding Love is Blind Ring. Oh, what is it? Where is it? Did you put it in? Oh, you did. Will said, "In Love is Blind, unused rings are not returned. Creator Chris Colleen has confirmed this policy, stating, we supplied them with the rings, and at that point, those rings are that they should not have made him give that ring back." Dahlia said they're called Inuit, so that's not an offensive word, though. I'm sure they don't want their tribe attached to nonsense. True. Kimberly said Madison is delusional and has been on a media tour trashing Joe and Casey. She needs to accept the fact that she was a warm body in his bed that he tried to continue an emotional connection with. And she also needs to realize, girl, it's not you. None of his relationships have worked. None. The one he's currently in, he's saying it's Rocky. It's Joe. It is not you. At all. At all. Dahlia said, I didn't have too much of an opinion on Joe throughout the season, but this reunion made me realize that he really ain't ish at all. I will say, this is the best hair he's had. He needs to keep this hair. That box that he had, it looked like a hair transplant. Don't ever do that box, Joe. Don't ever do that box. This hair that you have works for you. The porn stash is a little weird, but, the woman of your community might like that. But this is the best hair you've had. Keep it. Keep it. Oh, Cherry Hill Mall? That's fine. You're going to find Philadelphians there. I would say the King of Prussia, if she does King of Prussia, I would say do the mall. Outside of King of Prussia, outside of the King of Prussia Mall, it's a little scary. Little scary up there. What else? Do not go to Conshohocken. Let's not. Ephraim said, Jordan had me cackling, LOL. He's so entertaining because he felt like an audience surrogate. He did, laughing at the absurdity of this reunion. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed Jordan the most. Ephraim said, white ethnicism has taken me out, Nikki. He was giving white ethnic. He was. Hannah said, Madison played the victim and used her tears to make us feel bad for her. I wish she would have left the Joe and Casey thing alone, because I was like, girl, you are reaching. Tamara said, Madison got hate. I didn't hear anyone making fun of Madison's body. They were making fun of Madison's antics. Madison, stop. Well, she said that people were inboxing her stuff. So, listen, people on the internet can be mean. People are mean to me sometimes. Can you believe it? Me, me. It happens. So I'm gonna believe her on that one. He did a damn good job. I was like, oh, did you take advice from me? Like it was so good. It was so good. I'm like, that seems like my work. Me too. I will say he did seem like he did a lot of reflecting. Social Stuff said they could have tried Mount Airy, Chestnut Hill, and all the good parts of German. Yes, Germantown, Mount Airy, Chestnut Hill as well. There's another. Where is the other one? Not Albany. East Oak Lane, maybe. You got to go where there are like families, right? Like working class and middle class families. That's where you got to go because you're going to find people who want that because that's what they're used to seeing. Um, Here's the thing. I didn't have a problem with Kate being there, but if Kate was there, Anna should have been there. Why was Blake in the audience? I didn't understand this. I did. This reunion was weird. Weird. Hey, Janelle, thank you for being here. He was, and he acknowledged that. He acknowledged that. He didn't give any excuses of why he acted the way he acted, but he was just like, the way I acted wasn't right. And you guys can call me out on that. Dahlia said Nick took all the wind out of Kate's cell. She wanted to lay into him, and he made her look ungracious. I wouldn't totally say I thought that she looked ungracious, but it was just like, oh girl, there's not, there's not much that you can do. He's admitting to everything, You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And that was the time to just fold them, Kate. Will said Nikki Lumberjack's just, oh, it's ignorant too. Oh Lord. Anyway, just say y'all hopped on the same dingaling. Coco said that's Annie. Anna was the one who ghosted Patrick. She wasted his time. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Anna. Kimberly said, I didn't like Nick on the show until he ended things plainly and repeatedly with Annie as she tried to make 1 + 1 = 3. I liked him on the reunion as well. And he told Annie to pile in too. Respect. I will say, when he said, you can throw me under the bus too, I was like, ooh, I wouldn't use that language. You were doing very well. You're not being thrown under the bus. You're being held accountable for your behavior. Something going on here. I hate to say it. She's perfect for the housewives, especially Orange County. Tara said, I did notice Annie's bloodshot eyes, but she looked sober at the reunion. I can't believe this is the conversations we're having about that woman because she was drunk the whole season. So Steph said, Deep West Phillies. My son's dad is from over that way. Yeah, here's the thing about it, though. If Love is Blind is going to film in West Philly, y'all gonna have a huge Muslim presence. Is the show ready for that? Have we had any Muslims on the show at this point? If you're going to be casting in Philly, get ready for the Muslims. They're coming. They're coming. And listen, Black Philly Muslims, different. It is not the same Islam that everybody else know. This Islam is different. It's Philly Black American Islam. They are different. They got their own little sect. Janelle said Denver was such a waste. Yes. The reunion could have been a credit roll at the end. It could have been. And speaking of a credit roll at the end, what was that scene with Ali and Anton? What did that mean? This reunion is so weird. Dahlia said, wow, I thought Annie actually showed up pretty well for once. She seemed pretty together with combed hair and good makeup. I appreciate her not taking Kate's bait and sticking up for Nick. Well, that was the thing. I didn't appreciate that. I was just like, this is Kate's experience. You can't deny her experience because you're trying to get in Nick's good graces. It ain't gonna work, child. It ain't gonna work. Nick said, I'm done with you. Um, I will say this is the best she's ever looked, but I was like, is the girl a little tipsy? K Pred said, nah, no way someone who believes being LGBTQ is a phase is actually reflective. Good point. K235 said Anna was the main one we needed answers from in this reunion, and she was nowhere to be found. Yep. Yeah, she left, dumped two guys, and said, that's it for me. She said, I will not be back for any of this. I'm good. Anna is acting like this show never happened. Hey, Brown Girl. Brown Girl said, I thought Nick was just apologizing to shut everyone up. He didn't give anyone a chance to complain about him. Smart. Apologize before people can complain. Sade said, I wanted to see Anna too, because she never said why she left, and I don't think she was into Pat either. That's the thing. Thank you for bringing that up. She was very defensive with Patrick about how he got engaged to somebody else, and she was overlooking the fact that she left. You left him. So what did you expect him to do? Did you want him to leave? You didn't explain anything to anyone, any of the guys that you were dating, or any of the friends you developed in the pods. What happened, Anna? Caper said people like Nick are scary. He knows how to behave, but is hateful. Hannah said Patrick didn't want an Asian wife. He has low racial self-esteem. Well, that's not news. He said that on the show, basically. He let us know he was traumatized from a child. NC said way too much Kate on the reunion. I mean, thank you for the tea, but we saw you on the reunion more than we did in the pods. And then to only get 13 minutes for KB and Edmund, unacceptable. I agree. Because I'm just like, why is she there? If Blake is in the audience, why is Kate up? It just, none of this made sense. Yeah, she didn't want to marry a truck driver. That's it. And so she's making up these lies. Oh, we're deeply religious. Since when? When were you and Anton deeply religious? Hannah said Ali was so fake. Her response to their questions about her love life, it did give her I just want to keep this private. Girl, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yes, thank you all. Please thumbs up the video. Tamara said Ali would have married Megan's guy, Paul, the CEO. That's what she was looking for. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Miranda. Miranda said, and why did Vanessa decide to say it with her chest when she told Patrick to give the ring back to Bird Braid? Someone may need to check Vanessa. I think she may be deranged. The thing about it was that it was so odd. Patrick said, I'll give it back to her in Denver. Everybody laughed. We could have moved on because Casey didn't care. Vanessa made it her mission to get the ring back. That was so weird. That was so weird. Coco said, and she said she didn't even bring up the strip club. She didn't bring up any of the issues that she had with him, but those issues were important enough for her to say no to him at the altar. Ali, you're lying. Oh, yeah, Overbrook. That's a good area. A good family area. Tamara said, in all fairness, they barely showed Ali and Anton in the pods. Apparently, they cut out the pod scenes because Anton was constantly vaping. Oh! Now, that would kind of make sense because I was just like, we didn't get to see a lot of them. Why would they cut out him vaping? Y'all show them drinking that all the damn time. NC said Ali never brought up the strip club to Anton because she didn't care about it. Check it. She never liked him, so she did not want to give him a chance to explain, just wanted to weaponize it against him as a reason to leave. Absolutely. Hannah said Ali is too focused on minor things. Megan had a real well-paying job, which allowed her to meet Richmond. Oh, he is? Oh, he's Russian, so. Kara said, I don't believe Anton because didn't his friends say that he moved in with her? What, his girlfriend? Was it recent? What's the tea on them? Because Anton said they were not together. Janelle said Anton's ex-girlfriend did all that talking just to not even be together. Didn't they move in together like 2 weeks into knowing each? Who are we talking about? Anton's ex-girlfriend? Are we talking about his friend's ex? Tamara said Anton's best friend did not represent Anton well either. Oh, he did not. Talking about closing down McDonald's to drink. Yes. She sure did. And I was glad that she did. Hannah said they did KB and Edmund dirty, giving them 10 minutes max to discuss their couple. And to be honest with you, they were the ones holding the show. Nobody was checking for Love is Blind, really. The thing that got people watching Love is Blind was Edmund talking about his boogers. And then Edmund having all of his episodes. Him and Calabria were the stars of the season. Janelle said Edmund was about to do his famous crash out scream when she was calling him out. Yep. He tried to do that crying and she stared at him like, don't even play with me. Miranda said, don't care for Megan much, but I can appreciate her honesty and running through men because Casey did the same and tried to lie about it, looking crazy, windmilling over her own choices. Yep. Megan said, listen, I had a good time. I had a good summer. I got caught up, but I had a good summer. Ephraim said Edmund used weaponized fake amnesia and it was tiring. She was so nice to him at the reunion. She was nice to him the whole relationship. Yeah, I believed her. She had timelines, receipts. She didn't play. Hannah said KB was honest about what happened, but since people baby him, they're saying she was screaming at him and mistreated him. Yep. Not knowing that right before that, he had a whole temper tantrum and episode in front of their neighbors. Social Steph said, I couldn't imagine being engaged to a man after 10 days of talking through a wall. I want this show canceled. We cannot cancel it before Philly. Dahlia said, KB pissed me off. She came off as abusive. The abuser can't tell the abused not to take abuse. I did not get that from her at all. I got frustrated mom. I do not think for 1 second that she abused Edmund. C. Golden said both Edmund and KB were full of it. KB was faking too. Listen, KB was on her she was on TV, so she was that's how you act. NC said Ali didn't get enough lashings for me. Anton really should have gone in on her for demeaning truck drivers with her friends. And it would have been nice if the hosts held her accountable. They never do. They never do. Will said, Star family, do you view the fact that Love is Blind had no nuptials as a sign of growth, wisdom, or is this cast a recession indicator? It's a recession indicator. It's letting us know that Love is not blind and the formula no longer works. And casting needs to go back to the OG people who was doing casting because something is wrong in the casting. There's P in the casting pool. Kimberly said Vanessa and Nick calling out Edmund for blocking out negative experience or things that he needed to be held accountable was somewhat the right direction, but they lost the plot. Here's the thing. Yes, I can say that it was the right direction. It came at the wrong time because you brought it up to excuse his behavior for how he mistreated another person. It just came at the wrong time, in my opinion. See, Golden said, I don't feel bad for KB. She signed up for that. She knew that she didn't want him. Well, she said that she actually really fell for the guy. She just didn't like how he was a different person on camera. The nice guy. Why didn't we address that? Why did we not talk about him crying over Coochie? Miranda said, I feel a little bad for KB because the show got exactly what they wanted from the black ladies. Sure did. Alex said, we'll have to be a part of the replay game. Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. C. Golden said, we heard all about people who weren't even on the show, but they didn't even ask Edmund or KB about their dating lives. Nothing. It was terrible. Terrible. Dahlia said Edmund didn't make KB use abusive language or talk down to him like a mama. She tried to put that on Edmund. No, ma'am. She did apologize for that. And she was just like, you should not be yelled at. And here's the thing. I'm going to give it to her because she was the only one who acknowledged that there were some things that she didn't do right as well. Edmund denied everything and acted like nothing happened. He still had the upper hand. Not cool. We got nothing. We got nothing. Kimberly said Allie did not get held accountable for talking to everyone else, but Anton about her concerns. She is very unserious. She wanted screen time. I will have to agree with that. Hey, Busola, and thank you for joining me in the live yesterday with Just Call Me Wow. Anna said, I don't know why they had Madison walking down the stairs at night unassisted. You're right. Oh, Lord. They handled everybody with kitty gloves. It was so, that's why we never get anything. We never get our answers that we want from the reunion because they never ask them. For some reason, they just never get the job done. Never. Thank you, Busola, for the super sticker. Miranda said, honestly, I'll take a season with no marriages over what happened in the UK. Oh, yeah, the UK was a mess. The UK was a mess. Dahlia said, did anyone clock how Edmund and KB weren't mentioned when all of these off-camera parties were happening? Yeah, they used the black couple and put them on ice as soon as they were done with them. I will agree with that. Ashley says, I want them to be able to describe their looks in the pods. To not be able, yeah, I agree. I don't want you to be able to talk about looks. I don't want you to be able to talk about where you're from. It needs to be very vague, right? Because I don't want certain indicators coming up, because I think that's what happened with Patrick and Anna. When they both said they didn't have a middle name, they were like, oh, I know who you are. You know, and that pretty much changed everything. So I hope that they get a little bit more stricter next season. That's the only way that it will work. That's the only way it will work. Mama Star says, Mama Star watched The Golden Bachelor and I have notes. Mom, you do not the latest episodes. I keep on telling you, there are more episodes. That's why I want my mom to watch the show so I want to talk about this. And the book is nasty. Oh, he's coming after Teresa, child. We need to have a batch chat. But Mama Star ain't watched the episodes. Yes, give me shelter. Y'all did it. Y'all did it. Yeah, she needs to move to the South. KB, you'll get snatched up quick. Move to the South. Listen, if you're going to raw dog anybody, raw dog a trust fund kid. She knows what she's doing. Dahlia said, all shade. If you're not in a committed relationship with recent STI results, you need to be using condoms. That's crazy. A lot of people don't do it, child. A lot of people won't do it. And sometimes if you don't use condoms, you get pregnant by a trust fund kid. Oh my, me too. I was so upset. He wasn't trying to give it back though. Vanessa forced him. Busola said, are they trying to recreate that song, The Ordinary, that went viral from the show? Oh, I don't know. Was that the song was that the song that guy was singing in the beginning? Listen, she could pawn it and get a nice dollar for it. Especially if she pawns it and says, this is from Love is Blind season 9. She gonna get a good coin for that. Kirsten said, love is not blind. Only couples with attraction work. That's why Barnett and Amber made it despite their rocky start. The show is best by bringing people together who would not have met in real life. Lauren and Cameron, absolutely. But you got to be hot. You got to be hot. Lauren and Cameron, they're hot. They worked. They worked. Hannah said the reunion was just about which white woman could use their tears the best to manipulate the public. Well, if it was about that, it didn't work because the whole cast hates Casey. They cannot stand Casey. You might be on to something. Will said Netflix claims the rings are a gift with 3 to 5K, depends on state law. LOL. They mean they buy them and get tax write off, so probably legally can't. Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense. Really? Eve Ripley said, y'all, the white women on Reddit were heated at KB for saying Meg looked thick. They really know nothing about us, LOL. They were offended. Some people want to feel offended so bad. Megan knew what it was and she liked it. Did you see how happy Megan was? Megan was like, the girl said that I look thick. Y'all be gassing her up about her behind being big. She loves that child. Oh my God. If Philly brings out Meek at the reunion, nothing will top that. Nothing will top that Love is Blind has ever done will top that. She wanted a certain kind of Asian man, and she don't want to be honest. She don't want to be honest, and that was a perfect opportunity for Vanessa to call her out. Hey Connie, thank you so much for the super chat. Polymer girl, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you guys for blessing your girl. Yeah, me too. Me too. Kirsty said, looking forward to the Philly season for NikkiStar's commentary. LOL. I really hope they get natives. That's the only way the show is going to work. If we don't have any Philly accents on this show, Philadelphians, no matter the culture, are hilarious. I'm telling you, every day in that city, I would be in tears, laughing at something. That city is hilarious. If they do not get real Philadelphians, the season will be a wash. Kay said, not to be too nosy, but what is Joe's community? Because based on his Meet the Family episode, I had questions. Joe looks Italian and acts like he's from South Philly, but I don't know. I do not know. SEO Shogun said, I can't believe people are mean to you. Where are they? Let me at them. It happens. I know. I'd be shocked as well. I'm like, oh my God, why are you mean to me? I'm Nikki. But it happens. You know, it is, but there's still working class families there. And I think you are absolutely going to find somebody who is marriage minded. Dahlia said, Madison is built like me. We have strong shoulders and no waistline. She doesn't know her lines, so she wears clothes that make her look wide and boxy. She's not fat, though. The reason why I'm laughing at wide and boxy, because she loves a baggy low-rise jean. And if you are square and don't have any hips, baggy low-rise is not going to work for you, mama. You need a boot cut. You need a boot cut. You know what? You do. And I love y'all for it. Sometimes I got to be like, Star Family, hold on. Wait. Yes! Bring my boo back. Yes! Period. Hey, Nora. Thank you for being here. Nora said, hi, Nikki and Star Fam. This reunion was Bostora. Could have been an email. Miranda said, Nick still ain't beating them charges, though. Him and his estate. Okay. All right. Here's the thing. I need Nick to show us how he decorates his little cabin in the woods. I want to see how he decorates that for Christmas. I know it's gorgeous. I have to see it. If they hire natives, it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be hilarious. Soso Steph said the Philly Muslims on Love is Blind will be a trip. I will be glued to the TV. Oh, it'll be hilarious. If there are no black men on that show with huge beards, it's a wrap. If there are no sisters on the show who own a successful hair salon, it's a wrap. It's a different kind of Islam for them. They celebrate they will celebrate the hell out of an Easter. Listen, it's a different kind of Islam. It's a different kind of Islam for them. Will said, no, I wasn't saying that was ignorant, Nikki. I was saying settlers use the E word as slur based on them such. Oh, okay. Thank you. Kimberly said the end credit on the reunion was showing those toe. Oh, because I was like, why are we seeing this? Social Stuff said, I wonder if Annie is still on probation. Oh. That would have been something to talk about. I mean, everybody else is talking about it. Why? We need messy host. We need messy host. Ashley said the reunion could have gotten the Coach Carter movie in credit treatment. Tiffany said Philly Nation of Islam is going to be like Bilal. If you have not watched 90 Day Fiancé with Bilal, you have no idea how accurate this is. Will said lumberjack sisters, ignorant colonial settlers really thought people in igloos were like sister wives. That shows how they sexualize the same group they marginalize. That's all. Thank you for breaking it down, Will. SEO said Anna was walling, though. How does she expect Patrick to leave the show for her after dumping him without a word and still having a connection to Blake? She was on one. She was on one. Mang said, I'm from the Midwest and I can't wait for Philly. I just hope Ohio is it next, like I heard. I think it's 2 more Love is Blind seasons and then Philly. Busola said, for Anna, I wonder if she was scared of looking bad on camera because she wasn't going to choose Patrick. She was trying to hide that fact. I don't know, because she was upset that Patrick chose somebody else. We don't know what was going on with Anna. Hey, user. User said, I'm late, but Patrick makes me cringe. He has no backbone and it annoys me. Like, sir, stand up. Speak up for yourself. I'm going to back Patrick up with the ring thing because he was put in such an awkward position. He had Chris Paul and Vanessa working against him. Chris Paul brought up the ring situation for some reason, right? Then when KC won it, nothing was said about it. Vanessa made a big deal about it. He was put on the spot. I could understand why he gave it back, because if he didn't, he would have looked like the bad guy because Vanessa was just so focused on getting that ring back. It was weird. It was weird. Dahlia said, Ali knew Anton was a truck driver instructor in the pods. She knew his approximate salary. She said no because she's not attracted to him, period. All the other stuff is excuses. Busola said, I'm surprised Ali didn't ask Megan to set her up with her rich friends, LOL. She probably did. She probably did. And Megan probably said, girl, stay away from my man. SEO said, I really think Patrick tried to stand up for himself. That identity wound is deep. Yep. Oh, we're talking about the ex-girlfriend. Good. Because I was getting a little confused. Dahlia said, no, Anton's friend, ex-girlfriend, was the one who spilled the tea, even though she didn't really know Anton like that either. Now she don't got no man, child. Now she don't got no man. Hey, Lorena. Thank you for being here. SEO said, I knew Edmund was punishing KB for not sleeping with him, even though she told him she wasn't going to sleep with him in the pods. Absolutely. And it didn't help that all the other guys were having sex. Paula said, hi, I'm going to watch this show because of you. Just here to give a boop-like hugs. Thank you so much. Dahlia said, the problem with Edmund is that you can't ask him anything about his life because it's filled with trauma. One wrong move could have him spiraling. And if that's the case, then he should not be looking for a wife. If one wrong move sends you spiraling, you don't need to be nobody's husband or father. Oh, child. Dahlia said, but culture is important, though, and it doesn't inform worldview and behavior. How do you convey that without sharing it directly? Anybody in the chat? Let's talk about it. SEO said, yes, Bustle and Teresa gave a great interview. Who was that? Bustle and Teresa. Yes. She will not stay single in either of those cities. As soon as she gets off that plane, she will be booed up. Oh, thank you. Bustle is the magazine. Thank you. Okay, I got it. Nora said, Teresa just did an interview with Dear Shandy defending herself. Oh my God, this is so messy. This is so messy. SEO said Gary been sounded like a nut since that article that came on after the show. And Teresa said some of it sounded familiar. And that I saw that little clip of him on that podcast. He said, Teresa called me saying that she wanted to read my book. And I said, no, you find out about my book just like everybody else. Read it. I'm like, what did I miss? When were they beefing? This is crazy. Oh, immediately. Kimberly said all the sides of Houston would be on her, including the big country boy. Yep. That's what she needs. She need a country boy. She need the country boy that Glorilla was talking about. That's what she need. So said the last time I was in Philly, I was getting a cheesesteak and the lady in front of me was making sexual innuendos towards the worker about the way he was putting the cheese whiz on her. That city's hilarious. It's hilarious. Lovely said, I've been a silent watcher for a long time. I always enjoy your commentary. Thank you, Lovely. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching. Polymer Girl, thank you for the super sticker. Polymer Girl said, okay, Nikki, I sent a super sticker, but you called it super chat. So I got to make, oh, I'm sorry, but thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Dahlia said, I only want Love is Blind Philly if they have men with ridiculously full beards and thick women. That's Philly. They should have it. They should have it. We will see. K235 said, with Philly, the bears will either be huge or stringy, non-connecting. There is no in between. You are right. I need to see it. Meg said, I visited Philly last year and went to South Philly for a cheesesteak, and I absolutely had a time people watching. I saw so many things. The city's hilarious. It's hilarious. E450 said, my brothers must be Philly Muslims. They celebrate everything. Oh, DUI, child. DUI. Lovely said, why are they allowed to do pre-interviews? I thought that's normally a violation. I don't know. I do not know, child. SEL said, why are they putting them back in the Midwest? They need to rotate between major cities and the Midwest if they're going to do this. I don't know why we haven't had like, I feel like we need Love is Blind in like random places. You know what I mean? They keep on doing major cities and I'm just like, it won't work. You got to go out there. We need like Love is Blind, Kentucky. You're going to find something. You're going to find something. Dear Diary said, hey, Nikki, I'm joining late. You're right on time. I've been watching since Jenny and Salit. Anyway, did you give an opinion on how Philly voted? No, I'm actually saving a lot of my thoughts for my live tomorrow. We're doing a Blue Wave celebration live tomorrow. I'm never shocked about Philly. It's the outskirts that shock me from time to time, especially Bucks County. Republicans are in trouble. Republicans are in trouble, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. And the Blue Wave Live. NC said, hi, Mama Star. Are you also watching the new season of Married at First Sight? No, I'm just watching it. Do y'all want her to join me in that review? Can't wait to get your insight on the golden couples. You know what? I'm going to have her, I'm going to sit her down tonight and tomorrow, and she's going to watch Golden Bachelor and Married at First Sight. Dahlia said, my working theory is Love is Blind is set up Vanessa and Chris to pressure. That makes sense. Because that was weird. Lovely said, I'm sorry, but we know that looks matter. They do. KB knows that if she was attracted to Edmund, things would have been different. Guys, I think she was attracted to Edmund. Edmund is attractive. It's his personality. Edmund got a nice body. She kept on saying that. She would always call him her chocolate man, and she would always talk about his body. So he got a nice little body, and he has, he's very attractive. the personality, and just say something nice. I'm not giving you no coochie. I'm sorry. It's weird. It's weird. I hate to say it. It sounds boring. It does. It does. The best cheesesteak in Philadelphia you will ever have is at Max's. Here's the thing. You cannot go to Max's by yourself if you're not from Philly. Go with somebody from Philly. That is just not a place to go if you are not from there. But that will be the best cheesesteak you had in your life. They're so good. Ice Macchiato said, I was just at the Philly airport for a connecting flight and I had the Philly cheesesteak nachos at Chicken and Pete's. They were so good and satisfied me as a Texan. Oh, they're so good. Chicken and Pete. Did you have the Old Bay fries? Oh, the Old Bay fries with some chicken tenders. Delicioso. Delicioso. They just made him the victim the whole show. The whole show. I was going to say that. Alabama. Yes. Yes. Lovely said off topic, but have you watched All's Fair on Hulu with Niecy Nash, Kim K, Teyana Taylor? It's really good. Here's the thing. I am what's the best way I can say it? I'm boycotting the Kardashians. I'm boycotting anything them people touch. I can't. I also have a real issue with non-actors being pushed as not only lead actors for a show, but being the face of a show and having legendary actresses be their anchors. As an actor, I hate that. And I just don't want to be somebody who supports that because you know it's talent that didn't get you in the room. It's money and it's proximity to wealth and opportunities that did that. And as an actor, I cannot support that kind of mess and foolishness happening in an industry that I want to work in and continue to work in. It's extremely unfair. Why in the hell is Glenn Close, Niecy Nash, playing second fiddle to Kim Kardashian? We can't support stuff like that because if we do, then we let the powers that be in the industry know that this is what we want. And then we continue to get untalented people leading shows and really just dumbing down the art of acting. And I just cannot be a part of that. I will never support anything that woman does. And I will never support having non-actors be the face of any show, franchise, anything within acting. It needs to, a seasoned actor should have been in that position. Completely unfair. I will not support anything like that because if I support that, then that means I am supporting the death of actors in my industry. Absolutely not. 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He's cute. Dear Diary said, girl, I was in the bathroom when you read my comment. I'm there for the Blue Wave commentary. I'm on the East Coast. What time is it live? 4 p.m. PST. So what time? I think that's 7 p.m. for you guys. Kimberly says, supposedly Anton was between Ali and Kaylin, mixed girl towards the end. Why is Ali able to give interviews, but Kaylin is not, according to story time with her? I don't know. I also don't know why they follow certain couples. Because I think that there were more interesting people than Ali and Anton. I don't think they should have made the show. Hannah said the review of All's Fair are really negative as they should. Kim cannot act and shouldn't be taken. Yeah, I agree. Kay said, honestly, if Edmund gained a little weight, got his shape up, taper fade, and didn't wear his pants so tight, he could actually be all right. Dahlia said, why did no one ask Edmund why he always wears those pics? How many does he have? I don't know. For me, I just think that that's just Black culture. I don't have a problem with it at all. Kirsten said, what part of Philly should you stay for a first time visit? Center City. Center City. It's the nicest, the safest. It has everything that you need. It's hell of expensive, but it's worth it. When I go back home, I stay in Center City. Social Stuff said, I do miss the halal chicken spots in Philly, fried chicken, white teas, black and milds, prepaid phones, do-rags, all in one spot. It's just a black culture hub. Polyver Girl said, I haven't watched Love is Blind since Cameron and Lauren season. That's the gold standard for me. She just had a baby. Yeah, I feel like that's all you need to watch is Lauren and Cameron. Don't stress yourself out with any other season. At all. At all. The boycotts for me are getting bigger and bigger, child. I'm cutting everybody off. Even like this holiday season, I am trying my hardest to shop at small businesses and black-owned businesses with black-owned brands. Like I'm trying to be very strategic with my moolah. Lovely said, I feel you on that one. I said the same thing, but I enjoy the other actresses. Oh, yeah, they're great. They're great. And I can only imagine what it's like for them to have had to sit there and play second fiddle to that. Yikes. Yikes. It's dry because she's not an actress. She's not. She was able to buy that, though. She was able to buy that role. And we can't support that. Hannah said, thanks for standing firm on this. I wish more Black content creators would do the same. Listen, I understand if they don't do it. This, having a stance and being firm in your stance will cost you. And for a lot of us, it doesn't pay off, but it is what it is. Indigo said, did y'all see Northwest as Simba and Lion King? I was shocked they actually let a child put that position was bought. But I never spoke on it because it's a kid, because that's a child. But a lot of people were pissed off because, once again, that was an opportunity that was taken from a talented child and given to someone who was able to buy that opportunity. Dear Diary said, what about Angelo's? I have family in Philly. I wish Maryland, New York, and PA will link up and stand on business. I've been boycotting the Kardashians. Why would he write a role or movie for Kim? She probably bought it. That's how it happens all the time. Is Angelo's in the Northeast? If it's in the Northeast, yes, they're good as well. Tamara said, Nikki, would you date a guy who always had a pick of his hair, even on your wedding day? I would. I'm that black, y'all. I'm that black. I will never reveal who I'm dating or who I'll possibly, if I ever get married, y'all will never see that man. I will never reveal it. I'm gonna pull an Issa Rae and just throw a wedding pick up out of nowhere. But I'm telling the blackest man you could think of, that would be my partner. I'm not talking like Hotep black. Not that. But I'm black down. I love me some Black American culture. I'm in it. Where to pick on a wedding day? I'll be Dazzle his pick. That's how black I am. Dahlia said, I actually like Edmund's style, but those high waters, yeah. High waters are killing me. I appreciate when a man has a point of view. It's always fun. Yeah, I like a guy that's really into fashion, right? It's like, for me, I would need a guy who's not scared to be himself and not scared to take risks fashion-wise. Although I don't agree with Edmund's fashion choices, I love the fact that he dresses outside of the norm. Lovely said, Edmund looked handsome on the reunion, but the high water pants with the extra tight belt be killing me. I hope he finds love for real. He will. Dolly said, Kim's acting is dry because she's unwilling to be vulnerable in any area of her life. That's the lifeblood of an actor, a good one at least. She doesn't have to be good because everybody's going to lie to her. Ryan Murphy lied to her. The actresses that are performing with her are lying to her. It's like the Emperor. The Emperor's new clothes. She thinks she's doing a bang-up job because everybody is lying to her because of money. It's so sad. Here's the thing. I get you, El Boogie. El Boogie said, I stopped partaking in Ryan Murphy's a while ago. His stuff started to get sus and his allegiance to Trashian became disturbing. I don't trust him. Listen, I'm not watching his new show, All's Fair, but I just saw the cast for the next American Horror Story. Juggernauts. Acting juggernauts. I will be there for that season. I will be there. Oh, if it's in South Philly, it's good. I just would say, like, Geno's, I wouldn't go there. Geno's is trash and Geno's is MAGA. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, everything else is the problem. The pick, last of my worries. Even said, I like the pick. Men have so few approved accessories, so why not? I feel so 90s. It feels so 90 coded to me, and I love it. You know, for me, it's so 70s coded because when I see the pick in a man's hair, I think of like my uncles and like the pictures I would see of them back in the day as teenagers, and they had their afros with their picks. That's what I see when I see that. I don't mind the pick. The pick to me is just, it's so black. I love it. I would eat that up. I would be dazzled his pick for our wedding day. Will said, I don't mind if Kim K was on the show in a learning role, but seeing Black Tayada say to Kim, I slept with your husband because I wanted just a little of wonderful Allura. Yeah, I can't. It's weird. It's weird. Wavy said, Nikki, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Will's fashion sense for this new season of Married at First Sight. It's coming. Dear Diary said, I'm black, y'all. Blackly, black, y'all. I don't know what side Angelo's is on, but I've heard they are good. I'm so glad I caught this live. See you tomorrow, and you're right about Kim K. Thank you so much for being here, Dear Diary. El Boogie said, American Horror Story Coven didn't sit right with me. My ancestors kept whispering in my ear. Listen, I thought that Coven was their best season, and it's because they had acting juggernauts. Angela Bassett was on there. Jessica Lange, who's also coming back. They ate that season up, and they're coming back for, I don't know if this is going to be the final season, but like all of the acting juggernauts from American Horror Story are coming back. I am going to tap into that. As an actor, I love to see great actors work. It is, I get high off of watching their art. So I'm absolutely going to watch that. But this All's Fair, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. It's just, I love it. I love it. Polymer Girl said, Sarah P said KK was great on Watch What Happens Live, but the poll said nope, and I don't dislike him. She has to say it. She's an actor who's also working within the same industry, and I think she's also on the show. She can't say, oh, she's terrible. It's PR. She got to say the right things. But you know, in Sarah Paulson's group chat, T. Social Stuff said, Coven was a hard watch for me. Amazing acting, though. Yeah. The acting was good. Yes. And for me, I love that time of Blackness. I just felt like Blackness for me, and I wasn't there, but from what I've seen and what I've heard from my people, Blackness was at its like peak in the 70s. That's why we as a collective hate Ronald Reagan, because it wasn't just Blackness. It was the Black American community and the LGBTQ community were at its height. They were transcending this nation, and in came Reagan. And out of nowhere, the crack epidemic and the AIDS epidemic took out two very powerful communities in this nation and literally changed the trajectory of America. And it breaks my heart, right? But I feel like we're building back from those ashes. But I just love any kind of Black expression, especially Black American expression, because it just lets me know that we still decided to live despite what has been done to us and continues to be done to us. It's just like the fact that you are still black and proud in the face of so much oppression. Ah, I love it here. I love it here. Give me something that Coven was good. My top 5 were Coven, Asylum, Murder House, Hotel, and Apocalypse. For me, out of all of them, the only 2 that I liked was Coven and Murder House. Murder House is elite. That nothing can top that. Murder House was elite. We were gagged every episode. Coven, in my opinion, had the best acting, but Murder House, gagged. That was his best work. El Boogie said, I tried with American Horror Story Coven because everyone said it was good. I wanted to like it. I wanted to stick with it. It just rubbed something in me wrong. And that's fine. Dahlia said, I do appreciate Ryan Murphy casting over 40 actresses. Hollywood likes to pretend that women are put out the pasture at 40, which is infuriating. And I love that. I will give him his 10s for that. He lost everybody with his Kardashian obsession. Kirsten said, American Horror Story Season 1, Murder House, and Coven were the best, hands down. Jump the Shark. I didn't see the circus. I had to check out of Asylum. It got a little too scary for me. So Steph said, the circus season was hilarious to me. I'm like, is this supposed to be funny? Dahlia said, is Evan Peterson coming back? Yep. He's coming back, baby. He's coming back. El Boogie said, Nick Tuck was my girl, so I followed Ryan for a minute, but I had to release back into the wild. Yeah, he reeled me in with Nick Tuck. That was such a good show. Paula Girl said, okay, we start there, must collectively get Nikki's manifestation of him. Listen. Y'all will never know when he manifests, but thank you for your prayers. Dahlia said, love Murder House, Asylum, and Roanoke. I forgot about Roanoke. That was good too. Hotel was decent. Coven was good. Cult was terrible. Didn't even check Cult out. Yeah, Roanoke was good. It was good. Yeah. And honestly, for me, Hotel was just a little too realistic because, I live in LA and that hotel is not too far. And everybody talks about that. Like, that hotel is creepy. People still live there. There's always something happening there. So I was just like, I can't really get into that. It was his best work. His best work. I liked Roanoke. I did. I would say it's like I would give it a 4 out of all of his horror stories. But it was good. It was good. Very suspenseful. Murder House was his first show. What's his first American Horror Story show. He ate that up. Ice Macchiato said Murder House was his best work. Roanoke is the only season that gave me nightmares. All the vets coming back for next season. I'm there. Beautiful. I can't wait for that to come back. That's why I need my edges to come back because my afro is going to be sickening. Sarah said, Murder House truly had me by the neck when they revealed who the father. Yes. Just so good. So good. Dahlia said, I forgot about Circus. It was forgettable. It was. Other than the guy who played the spoiled man, beautiful man. Yeah, Circus. Gimme Shelter said, Murphy lost it during a pandemic. Yes, with his stunt casting for American Horror Stories. The double feature was the beginning of his descent. It was. Listen, his fan base is telling him, get back to the basics. We want to see you do good work again. We know you can do it. We don't know what's going on. Dear Diary said, I want everybody to win, but when and if you think the debt isn't owed, please move around. Yep. When you hire good talent, you're going to get good work. Kirsten said, I'm a Connie Britton fan since Friday Night Lights. She was so good in Murder House. She was. So Steph said Roanoke was a chop for me. I couldn't follow it. It did get confusing. I will say that. The American Crime series. You know what? It was really good. Here's the thing. I'm thinking that's why we got Kim Kardashian in his shows all of a sudden. I think she contributed greatly to some tea for the American Crime series. I think he was paying her a debt. That's what I think. Because I'm just like, well, I don't know. This his allegiance to her came out of nowhere. And now that you brought up American Crime series, I'm like, yeah, she probably helped him with that. Will said, let's give Brad Folchuk his things. Ryan has big ideas and connections, but you can see which season have Brad in a decent writer's room. True. True. Oh, the addiction monster. Yeah, I thought Lady Gaga did good, but it was still Lady Gaga. But I thought she did good. Yeah, and I think that's how we got Kim Kardashian. Busola said, I think Ryan stressed himself thin, and now I think the creative juices are running dry. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Give each other said, Roanoke was my least favorite season. I was used to a cabin in the woods level horror, but what I was given was a mess. I think it was the acting for me that really kept me there. E for Empathy said, Papa Girl said, yes, E for Empathy. I stopped watching American Horror Story because I'm scared. I think that's a smart. I also have a vivid imagination. I'm trying to get it back, child. I keep on using my drops. I'm trying to get it back. Yes. Rest in peace. They acted down. Ephraim said, I used to clown pictures of my dad with his parted afro, but that's how we're. Yep. Yep. Janelle said he does not need to cast any more influencers and singers that can't act. Whose idea was it for Kim? Leave her where she's at. That's the thing. Like, I don't think that actors should be taking over singers' roles. And I don't think that, non-actors should be in acting roles. I think that like sometimes you get a person like a Tupac, right? Who's just a great talent. They can do anything. I'm fine with that. But then there are other people who bought that position or was put in that position because they know or somebody or sleeping with someone, not because they're good. And it ruins the whole project for me. Yes, me too. I got to get out of here. I got a long day tomorrow. But thank you all so much for stopping by, Star Fam. Tomorrow we have the Blue Wave. And then, we have to, Nicolandrians gather here. We also have to talk about our girl Alandria and what she has going on, because there's so much stuff happening with her right now, and I just need to talk about it with you guys. So tomorrow is our Blue Wave celebration, and then we're going to celebrate our sister Alandria and just talk about all the fun stuff that she has going on. So I will see you all then. That's Thursday. Friday, I'm going to try to get Mama Star to watch Married at First Sight and catch up on Golden Bachelor. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm also doing a really fun live Friday with Arnold. So look out for that. But that's about it. I want to try to see if I can do something with Mama Star, but those are the things that I know that's happening for sure. So keep on checking out this page. Please give your girl a thumbs up. Please go and show my home channel some love. My home channel is NikkiStar at home. I'm going to attach my latest vlog to this video. Go over there, give your girl some likes, hype this video if you can, and I will see you all tomorrow for something else. Love you all. Good night. For the first 3 episodes, there's been more. There's been more. Good night, y'all. Woo! OMG, you've written a book, dear diary? Is it, if it's done, when it's done, let us know. We'll promote it. Let us know. Let us know. We love to support. Will it be done by Black Friday? I know that's a huge ask. Let us know. Let us know when it's ready. But we love you guys. We'll see you soon. Good night. Oh, did I get on my super chats? I did. Amen. Amen. Good night, y'all. Mwah.